What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for episode 5 of our Madden 25 Pink Slips franchise with the Vegas Raiders. We are at the beginning of the 2012 NFL Draft, the biggest draft in Pink Slips history. You all know the rules. You've been through it all first year. We have been banking stars that we can use to cash in on some of the best players the 2012 draft class has to offer. I'm going to remind you as we start the draft what those players are going to cost us to draft. We have 16 stars banked from the regular season, and hopefully it all works out. It could get rough. It could get bad. I asked you guys in the last video, like, what are some players you absolutely think we should target? I have that in mind. I will not be trading up. We will have to deal with the board as it may fall, but I think we're still going to be able to get a lot of good players. But before we get into that, there are a couple housekeeping things I need to mention. Number one is kind of a mistake on my part, but I think we can work with this. Now, I'm not going to say I'm an idiot, but when I loaded Pink Slips for the very first time, I accidentally had ticked on the mod that realigned the NFL divisions by like location. Like this is kind of like a what-off video that myself and the guy that was able to create this mod came up with. Of like, well, what if like all these teams, like you play geographically, like who's closest to you? What would that look like? Would that be cool? And unfortunately, like I had no idea, because with this mod, the first year you were still playing your original opponents. So we played the Chiefs twice, the Broncos twice, the Chargers twice. But next year, going into year 2 with this current mod, the new divisions, the new schedules would take place. I'm personally kind of fine with this. I think it's a little bit interesting, fun way to utilize that mod that was created. But this is a series that is heavily based on your guys' feedback. If you guys would like to see more traditional and like us to stay with the Chiefs Broncos instead of the Cardinals, it would be the Chargers. Let me know and I'll see if there's any way that we can revert this. Maybe we're screwed. I don't know. Haven't even reached out to them yet. But because I think it's fun. I think it is fun. Now, just speaking out loud, not polling the room, but something that if I'm going to reach out to them, some people have said in the comments, C4, didn't you used to have scoring for when you beat a divisional opponent? And I did. Years prior, that was a staple of our scoring. But in my opinion, when I started this Pink Slips, I always try to look at like what wasn't I a huge fan of previous series. And I think something that became an issue is multiple years into a rebuild, our divisional opponents start looking like barren wastelands. Like for the most part, like maybe not every team we end up owning, but like let's just say in this scenario, say we almost always can find a way to beat the Broncos and Chiefs. After a couple years of poaching all their talent, their rosters suck. There's no one fun for us to steal. And I felt like that's always kind of been a little bit issue. So I removed the extra scoring against division opponents just to make it a little like, that much more difficult to earn stars and scores to poach them. Would you potentially like to see, and I gotta say potentially because I don't know if it's possible, the divisions every year rotate? No connection to AFC, NFC as we know it right now in real life. No connection to geographical location. If I just said, hey man, is there any way we can just randomize the divisions every single year so it gives us fresh opponents that we can play 2 times a year? Would you guys want to see something like that? Is that something I should reach out and see if that's possible? If so, let me know in the comment section below. The second thing is our upgrade. We left last season with an upgrade that you guys had to vote on. It was Monstars, which in Pink Slips means we defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars. We could take one attribute from any player on the Jags and apply that attribute to any player on our team. And there was 3 that were like razor thin at the top for what you guys wanted to see. We could take 97 speed and put it on Tom Brady, just for the memes. Wouldn't that be kind of funny, especially for my play style? That could be kind of cool. We also had a lot of suggestions to put that 97 speed on our corner 1, Chris Harris Jr. We struggle defensively. Kind of happens. Chris Harris is a little bit on the slower side. That 97 speed would be very helpful. Last episode, I think in particular, we had 3 fumbles by Justin Forsett. And I had someone say, C4, we could take the 91 carry from Maurice Jones-Drew on the Jags and give it to Justin Forsett. I was like, yes, that'd be sick. Because I did say, hey guys, let's keep in mind here, if we're going to use this upgrade, let's try to use it on someone that should be on this team for the entirety of this series. I think that gets extra value. There's something I need to throw in here that we need to revote on this episode. Because all 3 of those options, those are going to be 3 of the options. But I had to throw in another one in here because I paid attention the last 2 times we've done 20-year rebuilds. That's using this exact same file, the exact same draft classes. And this was based off a suggestion I said. Tom Brady retires next year, for the most part. I might be able to get 2 more years out of him, but it seemed like fairly consistently at the end of the 2012 regular season, Tom Brady was retiring. Someone suggested that we could also potentially take the youngest player, which is 22 years old, Blaine Gabbert, on the Jags, and make Tom Brady 22. That seems, that instantly, out of all these options, it made sense that we should be able to do that. That also seems like the most overpowered option. I was that's what I'm doing. I'm picking that option. This is clearly what we need to do. But, community series, I'm going to throw it back out to you. We're not going to cash in that Jags. I want to know what you want to see. We have Brady, 97 speed, Justin Forsett, 91 carry, Chris Harris, 97 speed, or do we make Tom Brady 22 years old? Because there's going to be just as many people that say, oh, no, C4, I want you to have to draft another quarterback in 2020, 2013, 2014, whatever year it is. There's going to be everyone else to say, no, this whole thing, the whole story's kind of tied to Tom Brady. Let's get the fountain of youth here so that Tom Brady plays as long as he did in real life, which, I mean, technically you make him 22. You're probably going to have him still retire around the same time potentially. So I think it makes it very interesting. Personally, I'm going towards the Tom Brady age, but please vote on that in the comments below, and we'll kick off the next episode with what you guys decide out of those options. But now the biggest draft maybe in channel history. I've never had a draft that has this much importance on all the content that preceded it. You know how it works. I'm not going to explain this every single time, even though I feel like I need to. It is the NCAA system. We have to have the required amount of stars to draft the players at their values. There's 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, and free-for-all players from this 2012 class. We have 16 bank stars. We cannot trade up. We have to stay where we're at. The values: Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, Fletcher Cox, Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, Stephon Gilmore, and Harrison Smith are 7 5-star value players. And based off of the comments, seemed like Luke Kuechly was probably the most favorite. I don't know if he'll fall to us, but you know me. I love Luke Kuechly. I'll go get him. Looked like Fletcher Cox was the second most favorite, with Bobby Wagner right behind. So one of these 3 players are probably going to be our target in the first round. Those are our 5-star players. The 4 stars, it's a small group. We have David DeCastro, Levante David, and Kirk Cousins. If we want one of these 3 players, they're going to cost us 4 stars. The 3-star players, we have RG3, Alshon Jeffrey, Chandler Jones, Melvin Ingram, Dante Hightower, Jack Rabbit Jenkins, Casey Hayward, Justin Tucker, Johnny Hecker, Demario Davis, Brandon Brooks, Kalicia Semele, T.Y. Hilton, and Josh Norman. 2-star players, Nick Foles, Doug Martin, Marvin Jones Jr., Josh Gordon, Kobe Fleener, Mitchell Schwartz, Kevin Zeitler, Cordy Glenn, Olivier Vernon, Bruce Irvin, Whitney Merciless, Dontari Poe, Michael Brockers, Akeem Hicks, Vontez Burfict, Michael Kendricks, Mark Barron, George Aloka, Zorline Legatron, Marquette King, and Brian Anger. Those are our 2 stars. Anyone else not mentioned is a free-for-all. I could get them at no cost. But we need to do our best to maximize spending all 16 of these stars so we don't end this with some bank stars that are going to reset at the end of the year. Because we took away from upgrading our team in season to bank these stars for the draft. It is a strategy move that could come back to bite us in the ass. If we finish this draft with like 4 or 5 stars remaining, that should have and could have been more wisely spent in season. So without further ado, drum roll please, let's start the 2012 draft. Now this is going to be the whole episode, so we'll take a little bit of time here. Mark Barron goes pick 1. Andrew, now that is not going to be fun. Kansas City, who as it stands right now, our inner division just got Andrew Luck, which when we play them, it's going to be tough. But the fact that that's going to be the sim team, we're going to be competing against a sim Kansas City Andrew Luck team the whole freaking season. Like, they're going to be winning a lot of games. RG3 goes to the Vikings. The Chicago Bears at 4 select Bruce Irvin. Browns at 5 get a new quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. Commanders at 6. Wow, Brandon Weeden. Pick 7, Stephon Gilmore off the board. There's one of the 5 stars that would have been very interesting if he was still remaining. Dallas Cowboys at pick 8 go Morris Claiborne. They didn't draft him, did they? I know he ended up in Dallas. I feel like he ended up there, wasn't drafted there. We then have Chandler Jones going pick 9. That's a 3-star. Probably out of all the 3 stars, the one I most likely would have been like, yeah, I probably should have made him a 4. Luke Kuechly at 10 to the Bills. Goddamn, man, I wanted him. As much as clearly Eagles homer, Fletcher Cox, and I'd probably get more value out of Fletcher Cox being able to user him. I think my dream pick would have been getting Luke Kuechly. We got Dontari Poe going at 11, very pink slip player. 12 to the Jags is Russell Wilson. 13 to the Bucks is Michael Floyd, wide receiver. Notre Dame, pick 14, the New England Patriots. That's the storyline rivalry. Tom Brady left the Patriots to go to the Raiders. Could the Patriots screw our board up here? And they do not. They select Quentin Copples. So our Raiders are on the clock at pick 15. We got some options. Fletcher Cox, Bobby Wagner, Harrison Smith. We got to cash in a 5-star. I think, to be completely honest with you, I don't see a huge value there with Harrison Smith for how our team is built. It's either Bobby Wagner, who we do use as the middle linebackers 40% of the time, 35, 40% of the time, or you have Fletcher Cox on the D-line, who I think, you put him right next to Marvin Austin, who's been awesome. We're going to have some fun. I think you just got to look at them as no name. There's no name attached to these players. Who would we draft? Bobby Wagner, B block shed, B pursued, B tackle, A zone, 6 feet, 245, ran a 4.52. Elites across the board with great strength. Fletcher Cox, first round talent. We don't have him fully scouted, but I would tell you right now, it's probably B finesse move, A power move, C tackle, C block shed, 6'4", 300 pounds, and his combine is just as freaking good. Ran a sub 4.7, elites across the board. Oh, man. I got to do it. I got to do it. It was close. I think, unbiasedly, probably Bobby Wagner. But the fact that we have a lot of Eagles fans on this channel, I think they kind of influenced, threw a couple more Fletcher Coxes in there. You can't go wrong. Both these guys are Hall of Famers. And I think for me personally, I get a little nostalgia. There was a point in time we did an Eagles main channel franchise, and I broke the sack record with Fletcher Cox usering him. And there we go, number 16. Now, here would be the argument. I guarantee Bobby Wagner is better than 16 in true value. I guarantee Bobby Wagner is probably closer to top 5. So maybe we screwed the pooch here a little bit. But Fletcher Cox, when you get a defensive tackle that has 88 strength, 81 speed, 89 acceleration, and I would prefer to user a D tackle over a linebacker more often than not, there's more value here for Fletcher Cox on this Raiders team for pink slips. So that costs us 5 stars, which means we have 11 remaining for the rest of the draft. Quickly looking at how the rest of the first round fell out, the Eagles go Justin Blackman, but started like big name value. We got Dante Hightower going to the Seahawks. A lot of people saying we wanted him. Jack Rabbit Jenkins, 24 to the Falcons. David DeCastro, a 4-star upgrade, 25 to the Niners. Bobby Wagner falls all the way to 26 to the Saints. That's a great get. Harrison Smith falls all the way to 28. So that was the last remaining 5-star player on the board. Alshon Jeffrey going to the Houston Texans. I think now just for simplicity's sake, let's go right to our next user pick at 15 in the second round. Look at the players that went above us. Glitchy Assembly would be interesting. He had played some of his best football with the Raiders back in the day. We have Doug Martin, the muscle hamster, going at 42 to the Buffalo Bills. Casey Hayward was a nice upgrade going to the Denver Broncos. You got Trent Richardson, Cordy Glenn going out the board. But with our 11 points, let's go make sure we can make the best investment possible here. And with our pick, got 2 4-stars remaining. Levante David still on the board. I guess the question needs to be, does Levante David what's the discrepancy and difference between 4 stars on Levante David or 3 stars on Demario Davis? I think that's certainly something to consider. I think going Fletcher Cox over Bobby Wagner, if the debate was positional value, and you're not saying that, you wanted Bobby Wagner as a Seahawks fan or Commander fan, and we needed a linebacker, C4, you need help at linebacker. Well, I don't think you could do much worse than Levante David in the second round. Fletcher Cox and Levante David, I feel like that's the best of both worlds. If you're like, we need D-tackle, we need linebacker, that's the best combo. Because when we went Bobby Wagner in the first round, I'm not seeing another defensive tackle here that would have been, Akeem Hicks, Sure, maybe different, a little bit different body type level, nose tackle where Fletcher Cox interior pass rusher. I think this is a no-brainer. 4 stars, Lavonte David. We're down to 7, but I think we're laughing. 7 stars, we got to make the most of it. But being able to get Fletcher Cox, being able to go get Lavonte David has been one of the most consistent. Look at that right there. You love to see that. One of the most consistent linebackers in the NFL since he's been in the league. 22 in true value, getting him at 47. Hidden dev trait, 88 acceleration, 88 speed out of Nebraska. Let's go, man. Good business. But 7 stars remaining. Which is a snapshot of what happened in the 3rd round. Mitchell Schwartz going 68 to the Bears. He's a great tackle. Demario Davis at 71. I absolutely would have considered doubling up at linebacker. Akeem Hicks at D tackle would have been sick. We got Kirk Cousins going right. I mean, that's also something to consider because it's not a foregone conclusion that you guys are going to vote for us to reduce Tom Brady's age there. How going that TB12 method. Kirk Cousins could have been, it would have been 4 stars. Probably wouldn't, but might have to consider that as an insurance policy. But he's off the board. So with our 7 points remaining, let's see what we can do. We have 1 3-star player remaining in Josh Norman. Who I think he definitely fits pink slips, not so much from an athletic standpoint, but from having a dog back there. Our corner room sucks. But there's also other players. Like, if you were mapping this out, right? Probably not going to go quarterback. I just literally made this whole thing contradictory by introducing do we go Tom Brady Young? Because now I'm too scared to go quarterback. Because if we do that, we absolutely don't need a quarterback. But if we're talking pink slips, there's some like Josh Norman, Josh Gordon, and Vontaze Burfict. Those are all kind of pink slip players. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be our 7 remaining. Yes. I mean, it's not a 4th round, 5th round, probably 5th round. Someone could overdraft a Gordon or Burfict. I also have no idea how good they are from this draft class, to be honest with you. They're probably going to be decent, but they might not have dev traits. They might not have great ratings. But I think we go Josh Norman for the mentality. Cash in 3 stars. We have 4 remaining. And what do we got here with Josh Norman? Number 26 in true value at 79 with the dev trait out of Coastal Carolina. Now into the 4th round with our 4 points remaining. Couple names go here. Mike Daniels at pick 97. He was pretty damn good for the Packers back in the day. You got Travis Benjamin, 101 to the Browns. You got George Aloka going 109 to the Bucks. He was a 2-star player. But with us going back in, I think the board has been kind of set with how we need to spend these points. I think, you know what? There could be an argument made that Marvin Jones Jr. could be more wise of an investment. But I got to be honest with you. There's a little bit of reclamation of like, man, if we can get Josh Gordon going. Got all these F's there, but he's still Josh Gordon under the hood. He's got to be. We're cashing in 2 of our 4 remaining. Come on. Oh, no, just a dev trait. Give him a chance. 288 in true value at 111. That's all I need. That's all I need. And we got it. 2 points remaining. Anti-pink slips. He is. I remember when he was coming out of Arizona State. Awesome player. Was known as like the hardest hitter in college. But he's like, he tested so incredibly slow. Like he fell UDFA because of how he tested. He was like, this guy is just hot garbage. Well, welcome to Pink Slips, Vontaze Burfict. Oh my God, dude. 73 acceleration, 73. We get the dev trait. Jesus Christ, you got a long ways to go. But, understudy of Lavonte David. Put out Taylor Mays as that hybrid kind of linebacker. A lot of speed to compensate if we want to get Vontaze Burfict out on that field and utilize just lethal hit power. Terrifying opposing offenses. Our final 2 picks got to be non-notable players, and I think from a pink slip standpoint, Tommy Streeter here out of the U, 6'5", with 4.29 speed, certainly fits the bill of pink slips. Ends up being 179 in true value, 175, 94 speed, 94 acceleration at 6'5", 220. Yes, sir. We need a little tight end depth, and this guy's name is straight up Brad Smelly. So, for the rare chance that we get a Brad Smelly touchdown, yep, that's the only reason why this pick was made. So take a look at the draft recap. I've switched the positions around here on a couple players just to make sure they fit our scheme. We have Fletcher Cox, who would be a 3-4 defensive end in our scheme from the interior. Pass rush, 76 overall with a dev trait. Levante David, moved from outside linebacker inside of the middle. He's going to be dangerous. I think he's going to be very fun. Very fun to use her. Very fun to dominate. Josh Norman pulls a 72 overall with a dev trait. He will be instantly a starter. We have questions that need to be answered with how do we handle the development of Josh Gordon and Vontaze Burfict. Do we trust and know who they are and want to, I don't necessarily say force the issue, but like for Josh Gordon, do we maybe make him, like he's wide receiver 6? Do we make him wide receiver 4? So at least he gets a couple reps here. Obviously, we'll focus train him and Vontaze Burfict likely. But how we handle these guys, I'm not entirely sure right now. I think we kind of take it as it goes. Love to get your guys' input on that. I think personally, you know, it's cool in a way that we got big name players, name recognition, but also it's going to take a lot of work and commitment for us to make them a thing in this series. So it's not spoon-fed to us. It would have been, how cheesy would it have been if Josh Gordon was like a 73, Vontaze was a 70, and just more, like we got the dev traits, which is good, but we almost have to, you know, we're going to earn it. We have to earn it if we want them to be good. And I think that's a great challenge. Streeter, 62 height, weight, speed. Brad Smelly, god-awful. God, he smells. Looking at our division, that is, what are we going to have to deal with? Well, the Broncos, as it stands, they got Dontari Poe, 78. Did not, well, I mean, different position changes, I guess. Casey Hayward, 76. Did not think that Dontari Poe would have a higher rating than Fletcher Cox. Stephen Hill, they got Ron Brooks and Chris Greenwood. The Kansas City Chiefs, we already saw, they got Andrew Luck, 82 overall. Luckily, outside of that, not the best draft. Cody Sensabaugh has a decent rating. You got Dennis Kelly down there, but it is still annoying, and we're going to have to deal with that for the, you know, considerable future. We also have the Cardinals in our division this year. They got Kobe Fleener, Kendall Wright, Tyrone Crawford, Tahir Whitehead. Not a particularly scary draft by any means. And the last piece of business, let's look at the Saints. The big decision is, do we go Bobby Wagner or Fletcher Cox? And, you know, at face value, one player is 4 over. I think probably dev traits would be similar, but 76 overall to an 80, that's a noteworthy discrepancy. I did see someone say, C4, what schemes are you running with John Gruden? I thought it was just, and how I do this with like any of these retro rebuilds, is I just literally Google, who is John Gruden's coaching tree? And then from that, be like, that'd be an interesting playbook. So Sean McVay is a member of the John Gruden coaching tree. Did not know that. So we're going to go with the Rams offense. Should be good. Might hate it. Don't know yet. Defensively, Mike Tomlin is a member of John Gruden's coach tree. Must have been from his time in Tampa Bay, if I had to guess. I assume that's probably a pretty good playbook. Not 100% sure what scheme would be, because it's a base 3-4, but has like multiple rushes. So it's like, do you go disguise? Will we just live with base 3-4? I don't know for sure. Open to discussion. What should be our base defense scheme? I like disguise 3-4, but if you guys think we should run something a little different, let me know. Now, as we go into the training camp, we have Demaryius Thomas, who worked on some off-season workouts here to work on his speed and agility, because it's pink slips. We told him, hey, we got that deep ball going, but you can't always rely on that. So we got 3,000 XP, and of course, we wouldn't get anything to speed and acceleration. We got +1 to his agility and jumping. We also had the lawman, Justin Forsett, work on some position-specific drills this offseason. And he didn't make as much progress as he would have liked. He got 3,000 XP, got +2 to ball carrier vision, 1 to trucking, 1 to juke. Not bad. For the season, I usually kind of set and forget this. Here are our 6 focus training spots. We're going to go with the big 3 from the draft class, and Fletcher Cox, Levante David, Josh Norman. I'm going to throw exciting white Tom Nelson here. This is kind of the flex spot. I think it's absolutely paramount that we have Josh Gordon and Vontaze Burfict getting as much XP as humanly possible. But this third spot is certainly open to interpretation. Like, do we force feed Demaryius Thomas or Mike Pouncey and utilize the dev traits? Do we look at someone like Jabal Sheard or Justin Forsett or Chris Harris? I think it's just like, I'm looking at more so like fringe guys. Like, who could use this extra little bit of XP and become that much better? And I feel like Tom Nelson, who got that dev trait, maybe a little bit more than Mariani last year, but I don't know. It was a toss-up. You guys think we should change it? Again, let me know. We're going to let the number 1 pick get after it in the training camp drill. Bare minimum expectation is a gold medal for Fletcher Cox. Our offensive line is not particularly good. He should be pushing these guys poopers in. But we did miss a couple one-timers. Still good enough to get the gold. We're going Steve Maneri in the tackle drill here, because we need him to not necessarily like be good, but he's like left tackle is our next big position and worry. You know, like I'm worried that we don't have a good enough tackle. So get this extra point, which will make an upgrade, hopefully a better tackle, more attainable, because he will be a 73 overall versus 72 overall. No! Let's go, Steve! Hell yeah! I don't think I've got gold medal like maybe once in this drill. And here we are with Terrell Pryor. A chance to maybe get a gold. I'm gonna try to line up that B. Boom! Oh, baby, let's go! Terrell Pryor. This guy will just finish. Let's just pad our stats here. Come on, boom. A. All right, nice. Nice, just look like terrible now that I got the cameras on me. But a gold medal for Terrell Pryor. And you know, for wide receiver battle, had to get a little bit of cheese here to help Josh Gordon out. He's looking pretty good, man. Showing some chemistry. I think, what was he this year, man? Josh, he was like supplementary draft pick, I think, out of Baylor. Well, him and Brady got good chemistry. We also got Brandon Graham coming back for some off-season workouts. What do we got? Some XP. Okay. +1, block shed, finesse, power. Not bad. So because it's a new year, we have the 2013 draft class. And we're going to look at the 5, 4, 3, and 2-star players that we are going to be trying our best to balance, upgrading our team in season, and banking stars for the draft. Le'Veon Bell was last name on this list, just to give us 10. He was very much a tweener between a 4-star and a 5-star player, but at his peak, he was best running back in the league. We got DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Travis Kelce, Lane Johnson, Terran Armstead, Travis Frederick, David Bakhtiari, Slay, and Honey Badger. All are going to be 5-stars. 4-star players, we're going to start with Kyle Juszczyk, who's pretty much been regarded as the best fullback since he's been in the league. We got Zach Ertz, Eric Fisher, Ziggy Ansah, K1 Short, Sheldon Richardson, who won Defensive Rookie of the Year this year, Jamie Collins, and Xavier Rhodes. 3-star players from the class, we have Geno Smith, Latavius Murray, Cordero Patterson, Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, Tyler Eifert, Jordan Reed, Larry Warford, Kyle Long, Justin Pugh, DJ Fluker, Ryan Jensen, Brandon Williams, Star Latulele, Desmond Trufant, Jordan Poyer with Rachel Bush, Micah Hyde, Eric Reed, and Kenny Vaccaro. And finishing up with the 2-stars, we have Giovanni Bernard, Eddie Lacy, Tavon Austin, Marquise Goodwin, Kenny Stills, J.C. Treader, Jonathan Hankins, Alec Ogletree, Manti Te'o, Kiko Alonso, Logan Ryan, and A.J. Boye. So with that, fellas, we're going to wrap up today's offseason episode of Madden 25 Pink Slips. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you get the nostalgic juices flowing looking at that 2013 draft class. But I need your guys' feedback. Most importantly, to the Pink Slips Wheel Monstars upgrade. Do we go Tom Brady 97 speed, Justin Forsett 91 carry, Chris Harris Jr. 97 speed, or do we make Tom Brady 22 years old, the fountain of youth, or are we going to roll with it and risk him retiring this next offseason? So let me know about that in the comment section below. A lot of other feedback points throughout the video. Feel free to let me know. I'll be siphoning through all these comments tonight. Thank you guys very much for watching. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed for the YouTube robots and the algorithm. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace. I love you.